What's up, everybody? It's your boy Rolo, coach of the Center Master Titans. Today we're doing a quick singles draft league overview of our team in the Breedjects Battle Royale. I'm here with my front office and Mr. Everything Singles, Ryan.
Hey, what's up? Good to be here.
Ryan, it's great to have you here, man, and I appreciate all your help with making me not look like a complete beginner.
Well, it's been fun. I haven't gotten to play a lot of singles this gen, and I haven't gotten to do singles draft in a hot minute.
Well, hopefully you can live vicariously through me as I go 0-7 this season.
We'll see. I'm trying to make a singles player out of you, so we'll see how that goes.
Hey, we do what we can. So backstory on this, I got recruited by Grandmaster, is it D-Ray? DJ? D-Ray. Okay, cool, I did have it right. He reached out to me, let me know that there was an ongoing singles draft in the first round of the draft and that their coach dropped. It was an 8-person draft. Lucky us, we got number 4 pick overall, so we're smack dab in the middle. Felt weird, whatever. I panicked and reached out to my front office here, Ryan, who assured me that I was just overreacting as always. We sat down, tackled the tier list, a little bit of an overview on the tiers and how everything works. Pardon me. It's 110 points overall for between 9 and 11 Pokemon and a Terra Captain. Your Terra Captain gets 1 Stab Terra and 1 non-Stab Terra, and that's what you get. So I like what we have. We did have a little miscommunication and misunderstanding of the rules itself. The way we understood it is when you picked the Pokemon, you also had to spend the Terra points for that Pokemon instead of drafting it for the points. So say you draft a Pokemon for 17, and it's a 21-point Terra. We figured it was 38 points for the damn thing. No, not so much. So that definitely affected the outcome of what we drafted, but put our heads together, scrounged what we could, and I think we've come up with a pretty okay team.
Yeah, I mean, definitely just us not getting the draft hurt a bit. But I do think this team is, like, fundamentally pretty solid. And has some good traits and features going for it.
Yeah.
That did lead us to our first pick of the draft was actually Goldango. I don't think this isn't completely in draft order, I don't believe, especially given that we had transactions and stuff, but our first pick was Goldango. Mon getting a lot of usage right now in singles, just on ladder and stuff like that. It's a pretty, good as gold is just a really good ability. And that combined with, being a strong special attacker, having a pretty solid defensive profile, being a steel type, gives it a decent amount of value for where it's located in the tier list, and it can run a whole lot of different items and sets. It's got good variety. Going into this, we sort of knew that we wanted a team that could pair with the Grimmsnarl, which was our second pick, I believe.
Yep.
And Goldango and Grimmsnarl really facilitate each other really well, in terms of Goldango preventing the screens going down from a Grimmsnarl. Goldango and Grimmsnarl have really excellent defensive synergy, and they pivot in and out of each other really nicely, that sort of thing. So they were kind of a pair that we caught early on that we were like, okay, this looks like a really solid combination of 2 Pokemon to have up our sleeve.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Goldango first pick overall felt pretty solid. As you already said, good as gold, great ability. It's going to help with a lot of things. It's going to be, sometimes it could even be a lead, not generally, but sometimes if the matchup calls for it, Goldango's coming. The Grimmsnarl pick is a comfort pick for me. I've used Grimmsnarl in doubles almost more than any other Pokemon. I know Grimmsnarl in and out. I love the thing. It's going to put in work. I've been looking at a few teams here and there, our first week opponent and such, and Grimmsnarl's a nice Pokemon to have. Not always going to come, but when it does, I'm really excited. But after the Goldango and Grimmsnarl, I figured, and Ryan figured, you know what? Might as well finish up a fantasy core, because we've got the Steel and Fairy. We need the Dragon. We wanted low points for the Dragon, specifically because of how we understood the draft, so we ended up grabbing Baxcalibur. Now, I think Baxcalibur complements really well with these two other Pokemon. Really hard-hitting Mon. It's got a little bit of versatility. You put it behind screens, it's chilling. It switches in and out with Goldango really well, especially with that fighting weakness on Baxcalibur. If you want to close combat it, you're going to be punching a Ghost Boy, and that's not going to work.
And if you want to use a fire move on Goldango, hey, guess what? We got a Thermal Exchange coming in hot.
Exactly.
So there is some nice defensive core synergy with this fantasy core. It's not 100% perfect, but for what it is, it does work pretty nicely.
Yeah, I mean, I really like that top 3 core. Those are all comforts for me. Goldango's new to me. I haven't got to use it in draft yet. I have used it on the ladder, but that's in doubles, so we know that's not going to translate much.
Nope, not much. I mean, you'll click good as gold still.
Oh, yeah,
or make it rain, sorry. You'll click make it rain still.
Oh, yeah, no, I am going to be an Atlanta rapper just making it rain everywhere, and I'm going to love it.
Okay.
So yeah, next up, what do we have next up on the list, Ryan?
Volcarona.
Yes, Volcarona. We ended up picking up Volcarona in the grace period after, again, not to keep going back to this, but just explaining how everything came to fruition for us. After we understood how Terra Captains in the draft was actually supposed to work after the fact, we saw Volcarona was just sitting there and figured it was the best option we could get for a bring on. We initially had Rotom Heat in that position, which was a great Pokemon, don't get me wrong, but Volcarona as our Terra Captain feels really solid for this comp.
Originally, based on how we thought the Terra Captain thing worked, we thought Venomoth would actually be pretty good. But then Volcarona is just sitting there, and it's just such a better Quiver Dance sweeper that it was kind of a no-brainer to go, okay, let's grab Volcarona and make that our new Quiver Dance Pokemon. Not to say Volcarona doesn't have other sets that it can use, you know, obviously it has a lot of good offensive sets, even like Specs Volcarona is like kind of a nightmare. But definitely just like having Volcarona on the comp makes us feel a lot more secure than we felt prior to having our other picks. So, and we did pick it as our Terra Captain. It is one type had to be Stab, so we picked Fire because Fire Stab is hard to switch into in the first place, unlike Bug Stab. And we went for Terra Grass as the Terra type. Kind of flip-flopped a little bit between types, but we ultimately decided Terra Grass made the most sense. It lets Volcarona kind of beat the rock and water types that normally can check it and handle it pretty well. And it helps you too with things like Priority Aqua Jet and things like that you might try to use to take out a Volcarona. So seemed like a pretty solid overall pick in terms of those Terra types, but we'll see how it works out over the course of the season.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Quick shout out and rest in peace to my boy Venomoth.
Yeah.
It felt real cool at first, being like, oh yeah, Venomoth, Terra Captain, Terra Poison Ground, this is going to be sick. And then I saw Terra Chien-Pao, Terra Chi-Yu, Terra Dragonite, Terra Roaring Moon, and I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, so
you did something wrong.
So getting the Volcarona is definitely, I think, the number. I would say it's the number one candidate for a Terra option on this team. Other than Goldango or Baxcalibur would also be solid, but I do think Volcarona makes the most sense and is the most threatening. So we're excited that thing gets to be the Terra Captain.
Yeah, Volcarona just kind of fits in nicely with the team synergies and whatnot. And I mean, I personally think Volcarona does a lot of work up top with this team. All right, what do we got next?
Lycanroc Dusk.
Oh, I will let you speak on Lycanroc Dusk, good sir.
So I'm pretty sure Lycanroc just got banned from RUBL, which is really funny. Lycanroc Dusk historically is a really, really, really good singles mon. It has a lot of different sets it can run. It has a really good like suicide lead set to just get stealth rocks up, which on a Goldango team certainly isn't bad. We would have preferred to have more hazard stacking on the team, but kind of is what it is. But we decided that too, Lycanroc is our naturally fastest Pokemon, with that base 110 speed. Which speed tiers are a little interesting because I'm used to in singles feeling like, oh no, our team is too slow. But because of the Scarlet and Violet decks, while I will say our team definitely can get speed crept on the top by pretty much all the other teams with at least a mon or two, our overall speed tiers aren't nearly as bad just because of the limited decks, and Lycanroc does help that out a lot. Lycanroc can also just run really like rock solid offensive sets, pun intended, I guess, with Tough Claws and things like Choice Band and Life Orb, and it can just really put in a lot of work. Accelerock's a really nice piece of priority to have on this team to kind of act as an emergency check to set up sweepers and things like that. So I'm really glad that we picked this thing up. I think it was pretty solid value for where it was at, and I am hoping it gets some good usage over the season.
Yeah, I'm really excited to pilot Lycanroc Dusk as a suicide lead or as just a sweeper in the back. Its move pool is really nice for what it is. Abilities are obviously going to boost that with Tough Claws and things like that. It hits like an absolute truck. It has great speed. Defenses are a little lackluster, but we have a thing or two that we can help with that. So I'm not too worried about it. That Accelerock is going to feel real nice in the back some days.
Yeah, that's for definitely for sure. Next up, we got Rotom Fan.
Oh, Rotom Fan, my prized possession. So, as I spoke earlier, we had Rotom Heat, and we wanted to pick up Volcarona as the Terra Captain, which obviously means we had to get rid of Rotom Heat, which broke my heart. On the flip side, though, it means we got 7-point Rotom Fan. And Rotom Fan is nothing to slouch on whatsoever. This thing is a unit. You know, great Volt Switch. We have Wisp. We have, I think, what is it? Air Slash is the only Flying Stab.
But Air Slash isn't awful or anything,
Yeah,
you know.
I'm not too worried about it. I do hate the fact that they got rid of Pain Split on the Rotoms.
I do too. God.
Yeah, that that hurts a little bit, not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
But we make do. You know, it's a nasty plot setup user if we want something late game, or if we get into a good position where we can just freely click nasty plot and just go,
yeah,
okay, now what do you do?
You know, and Choice Scarf Rotom's always good.
Oh yeah.
So next we have there's like a million ways to pronounce the name. I'm gonna go with a Quaquavel.
Yeah, Quaquavel. This is one of my favorite pieces on the team. This thing is going to be so fun to pilot. Aqua Step Moxie gonna go burr. You know, we're just gonna chill.
Yeah.
It is our rapid spinner, I do believe.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
which is nice because it resists rocks. And our team does have a bit of a rocks weakness. Just a little bit on some of the pieces, so it definitely will be nice to have something reliable at least.
Yeah, I mean, it's got great dual stab with water fighting. Obviously, we talked about Aqua Step. It's got Moxie. Yeah, it's a good offensive piece. It could also be a great spinner. It's a good pivoter because it gets U-turn. Like, there's some good versatility with this Mon, and I think it's one of the pieces that's going to be my favorite to pilot all season.
Yeah, and respectable bulk too, which is really nice on a Mon like that.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, next is our Staraptor.
Oh, Staraptor. This one's for Toby, because I know how much Toby loves Staraptor. Obviously, just a great pivot piece. Intimidate is nice. It also hits like a truck. pretty good speed stat. For some reason, they got rid of defog on it, so
That kind of sucked, yeah.
yeah, we lose Pain Split and Rotom. We lose defog on Staraptor. You know, they're just hindering my abilities at this point.
Yeah. Staraptor does, though, always have that Reckless Brave Bird, which is just still one of the stronger nukes in the game. I mean, just to have some more immediacy output, Staraptor is really nice. It is difficult to switch in on Reckless Brave Bird and things like that. So it's definitely going to be like a pretty consistent piece of the team in terms of kind of breaking holes while breaking, that sort of thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's another ground immunity, which is nice for Goldango and, you know, things like that. Also good for Lycanroc Dusk. Again, rock weakness, but hey, you know, all my homies hate giving Rolo rocks, so I know the rest of the division's just not going to bring rock-type moves and stealth rocks into me, because they're
exactly.
nice.
That's exactly what they're going to do.
F is for friends that don't bring rocks against Rolo.
Exactly. And our last mon is Sandaconda.
Oh, man. My Sandaconda don't. You know, this thing
Is that it? Do we end the video there?
You know, we absolutely could. No, I think Sandaconda is a really good low-value piece. We got it for 5 points. You know, it's a rock setter. Its ability, really good sand spit. You don't want to hit it, I promise. It's got great bulk. It can be a body press user. It can be a rest talker. Like, there's a lot of versatility down low with the Sandaconda. And the team covers its weaknesses enough to where it's a comfortable bring almost every week if I want.
Yeah. One thing I do like about this team is that it does feel like every mon can come on a given week. Sometimes in singles drafts, especially, I find that, you know, a team, it'll be like, oh man, those 6 are really scary, and then the rest of the team is like, cannot come, you know? You know, it's like, oh look, they completely blew their budget and now half the team can't come. I also just like a lot of the set versatility on this team. A lot of mons can run a lot of different sets. Most of these mons do have, you know, obviously they're kind of standard sets, but there's some definite like creativity, versatility, and matchup dependence that you can do with a team like this, where you can sort of customize it for what you need in a given week. And I do think that's where a lot of the threat of this team does lie, is in the prep. I think that this is a team that's a really prep-forward team, where it's not super autopilot. You can't, like, go into this and just kind of run your standard sets and just sort of attempt to win with those, because you'll probably get beat, because this team is definitely, I think, power-crept by a lot of other teams in the division. But what it does do really nicely is that it can really build mons for individual opposing mons, matchups, things like that, in a way that I always have personally really liked in singles drafts. So I don't think this is a bad team by any stretch, and it's definitely got some strong features and some weaknesses, but I do think it can definitely put on a strong performance.
Yeah, absolutely. Overall, my review of the team is I think it's top 8 in the division. It's somewhere in the top 8 out of 8 coaches. I don't know where, but you know, the team's pretty nice.
Yeah.
It does have a lot of versatility when it comes to sets and mons that I can bring. Like you were saying, I can bring any one of these mons each week. I can switch them out. It feels really good. I don't have any one Pokemon where I look at this team and go, hey, you know, I just picked this just to fill out the budget. It's like, no, all of these have their niche spots. A lot of these things are going to do what they're designed to do. Everybody that knows me knows that I run some wacky stuff as well. So Ryan might tell me to do one thing, and my ADD-riddled mind might go, yeah, but like, what about this? And either I'm allowed to bring it because Ryan is my final say, or I just bring it anyways and lose, and it'll be great.
Right. I'm expecting a lot of those.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fun. But yeah, no, that's pretty much the team overview today. I'd like to thank Ryan again for his time and helping me out with all of this.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. You guys have a great rest of your day.